a rising star in the league, Kyler Murray. Now, I want to say this. I think Kyler Murray is already a superstar quarterback. And many of you may be looking at me with a side glance. But this is what I think, right? Kyler Murray out of Oklahoma came in last year with a terrible Cardinals team. Horrible O-line. They're lacking a deep threat outside of Larry Fitzgerald. You think of guys like Andy Isabella. Maybe he's a deep threat, but he's got great speed. Or Christian Kirk. He's a great receiver. But none of them were really that consistent, and I just don't think that team was good enough. You know. And Kyler, even with all those holes, even having a bad defense, which I didn't even mention, he still became the 2019 AP Offensive Rookie of the Year. He was still great. He wasn't fantastic. He wasn't, jumping off the page. Like, we were all like, this guy has good potential, right? He had a good rookie season, but none of us were like, this guy is the next guy up, right? He's the next Russell Wilson. He's the next Lamar Jackson. He's the next Patrick Mahomes. None of us really said that yet. Now, this Cardinals team had an off season to get better, and they really took that to heart, right? They really looked at their guys. They looked at Kyler, and they're like, we're going to get you some help. We're going to help you out, which is what all teams should do with a emerging superstar quarterback. And so they made one big trade, right? We can talk about the little moves that they made all day and how it's led to this team to get better. But let's talk blockbuster, right? I like talking blockbuster. So the Cardinals made a trade with Houston Texans, and they gave away a pick and Derek Johnson, and they received DeAndre Hopkins. In a lot of people's eyes, he may be a top two. Some people think he's the best receiver in the NFL. He's top three in most lists, and I would consider him to be top three. I don't know where I'd put him really right now. On the spot. Maybe he's below guys like I don't know. Maybe I put him number one. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's him and Julio kind of towards the top for me. So I think he might be number one in my eyes. But it was a huge trade for the Cardinals, right? This guy is a deep threat. He's a threat anywhere on the field, man. This guy is ridiculous. He has great hands. I mean, I don't think I need to explain why DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver from the Texans, now on the Cardinals, is an amazing football player, right? And so through the first two games of the season, Kyler Murray has 158 rushing yards on 7.5 yards per carry. And I know that's, pretty good. Most people might be thinking, it's pretty good. But even those numbers don't really speak to how great that is, Let's put it in historical context here. Kyler Murray is on pace to become the NFL leading rusher for a single season by a quarterback. He is on pace to break Lamar Jackson's record set last season. Now, if I asked you right now, right, if I put a gun to your head and I said, hey, who's a better running quarterback? Is it Lamar Jackson or is it Kyler Murray, right? Most of you would probably say Lamar Jackson, and I'd probably agree with you. But I don't think we should take anything away from Kyler and what he's managed to accomplish. I think we should give him his flowers right now, right? I think he deserves them. And I think he is one of the best dual threats in the league, right? He's top three dual threats in the league. I put him number two. As much as I love Russell Wilson, I put him number two. And Josh Allen, too. I mean, he's pretty amazing running the football. He's made some great throws, especially one in week 2. If you guys have watched the film, you'd know. But in week 2, he got outside the pocket, right? He rolled out to the right, I believe, and he made a great throw to the sideline. DeAndre Hopkins, great catch, and he just placed the ball perfectly, right? Kyler Murray has all of the things you want out of your cornerstone, out of your QB. He has, freak athleticism. This guy is 1 in a million, it feels like. Not in the NFL, right, where you have guys like Mahomes, you have guys like Russell Wilson, but in the real world, he's, a 1 in a million guy. Not many people are born with that kind of athleticism. He has a great ability to run, right? I don't think I need to go into this because I think the stats speak for themselves on that one. But he is amazing. Scrambling or quarterback design runs, he's great at. And he also has a rocket arm, right? He can throw it down the field. I mean, this guy has arm talent, right? Which most quarterbacks do. There's a few guys you kind of look at and be like, yeah, they kind of got questionable arm strength. You look at a guy like Gardner Minshew, you're like, can this guy really throw the ball 50 yards down the field? I don't know. But, I'd say he's up there, like top 10 in arm strength. I couldn't tell you right off the bat who the top 10 arm strength quarterbacks in the league are, but I think he's top 10. And I think once he eliminates his mistakes, mainly interceptions, right? He's thrown 2 interceptions through the first 2 weeks. And that's not terrible, right? I mean, there's guys who have done worse. Tom Brady has, you know, I believe he has 2 or more interceptions. He had 2 in week 1, right? But I think once he gets a little more accurate, right, just a little bit, I think he's doing well right now, about 66 or so percentage completion. But I think once he kind of eliminates just those little mistakes, I think he has the potential to be a top 3 quarterback in the league. I think it's fair. I think that's a fair statement to make. Maybe he never cracks the top 3, but I think he does. Once Russell Wilson kind of slows down a little bit, I think it'll be him, Lamar, and Mahomes in that top class. So it's really up to him what he wants to do, whether he wants to, look at the film or practice, but he needs to eliminate those mistakes, and then I think he's there. I think he's in that class. I think he's a superstar right now. And he's part of a growing trend in the NFL lately. Over the last few years that I've been watching, I've really noticed one thing, and that is the second year QB stardom season. That's what I'm going to name it. The second year stardom season. The SSSS. A lot of S's there. Alliteration. I love it. I really see that out of a few quarterbacks. You look at the best quarterbacks in the league. Patrick Mahomes, right? When did he come up? His second season. And I know you can say, oh, well, he only started 1 week in his rookie season, week 17 against the Broncos. But, it's all the same to me, right? I mean, he got preseason snaps. He was in practice the whole year. And he came out, I don't think he would have had an amazing rookie season, right? I mean, we saw that in the Broncos game. He had potential, but he wasn't quite there yet. And you look at Lamar Jackson, right? And he made a huge jump in his second year, right? I mean, he was good in his first year, but he wasn't the type of passer that he is now. He was a good runner, right? People were like, oh, you have a running back as your quarterback to the Ravens. And now they can't say that, especially not through these first 2 weeks. And now we're seeing that with Kyler Murray. I don't know what's up with this second year stardom season for quarterbacks, but maybe we can expect that out of Joe Burrow next season, you know what I'm saying? We'll find out, I guess. But I don't know what really goes into that. I can't tell you why that happens. But it's just a trend that I want to make you guys aware of. It's kind of strange. And I believe that him and the Arizona Cardinals have a bright future ahead of them. We'll have to see where exactly they go from here. But I think that they are destined for great things, not only this year, but down the line. They have improvements to make, right? We can all agree with that. The Cardinals aren't a complete team. They're not a top 3 team in the league. But they're a good team, and I think that they're going to make the playoffs this year. And they could go like 10-6. 12-4 is probably their ceiling. We'll find out. We'll really see down the line. But they haven't had an amazing start so far, right? And the Cardinals look smarter and smarter every day for giving up on Josh Rosen. I love Josh Rosen. I loved him coming out of college, right? He was actually, if I had to rank the quarterbacks coming out of that draft, I probably would have put him third. I liked Sam Darnold. Now, I don't know. Man, Sam Darnold, terrible so far. But I've loved Josh Rosen, and I wish him nothing but the best. But so far, he has not proven to even be an NFL quarterback. And the Cardinals were kind of ridiculed at the time a little bit for getting rid of him to take Kyler Murray, and I think everyone who said that is now looking back and being like, we were wrong, right? Kyler Murray is great. Josh Rosen can't even find a spot in the league, and Kyler Murray is going out and torching NFL defenses in his second year.